Revolutionizing growth, AGI projected to amplify global GDP from 3% to 20% annually.
Introduction. The advent of artificial general intelligence (AGI) heralds the potential for a seismic shift in global economic growth.
According to a groundbreaking analysis published by the Economist, AGI could elevate global GDP growth rates from the current 3% to as much as 20% annually. This report underscores the profound implications AGI may have on markets' productivity and the labor force, mirroring historical economic revolutions.
Historical context of economic growth.
An understanding of this potential transformation requires a look back at historical economic patterns.
Prior to 1700, global economic growth was nearly stagnant, averaging just 0.1% per year.
The Industrial Revolution marked a pivotal change, propelling growth rates to an average of 2.8% in the 20th century. This pattern of accelerated growth suggests that humanity is on the brink of another significant leap in productivity.
Driven by advancements in AGI. The role of generative AI. Goldman Sachs concurs with the optimistic projections surrounding AGI, estimating that generative AI could contribute a 7% increase in global GDP, approximately $7 trillion, over the next decade.
Their research indicates that generative AI, especially through enhanced natural language processing, has the capacity to boost productivity growth by 1.5 percentage points. While acknowledging the potential for job displacement, approximately 300 million jobs may be at risk due to automation. Goldman Sachs also emphasizes that technological advancements historically create new job categories. For instance, the rise of information technology led to the creation of roles such as software developers and digital marketers, suggesting that while some jobs may be replaced, new opportunities are likely to emerge.
Diverging projections.
While The Economist envisions a more radical increase in GDP growth potential up to 20%, Goldman Sachs maintains a more conservative outlook of 7%. Despite this divergence,
both analyses highlight the transformative power of AI and its substantial effects on productivity and labor markets. Implications for labor markets.
The potential for automation to disrupt labor markets is a significant concern.
Goldman Sachs' analysis reveals that around 2/3 of U.S. occupations are exposed to some degree of automation, with a quarter to half of their tasks potentially replaceable. However, the report emphasizes that not all automated tasks will lead to job losses.
Many jobs are likely to be complemented rather than entirely replaced by AI.
Historically, job displacement due to technological advancements has often been offset by job creation in new sectors.
For instance, a recent study noted that 60% of today's occupations did not exist in 1940, indicating that technological innovations have been pivotal in creating employment opportunities. The rise of AGI could similarly catalyze the emergence of new job categories and industries.
The future economic landscape. As businesses begin to integrate AI technologies, the effects on workflows, productivity, and the job market will become increasingly apparent.
The potential for generative AI to enhance business efficiency, streamline operations, and even innovate new products and services points to a future rich with economic possibilities.
For instance, in sectors like healthcare and financial services, the integration of AI is expected to drive significant improvements in efficiency and service delivery. Conclusion.
The anticipated impact of AGI on global GDP growth is profound, with estimates ranging from 7% to potentially 20% annually.
As we stand on the brink of this new economic era, it is crucial to prepare for the accompanying challenges and opportunities in the labor market.
While automation may displace certain jobs, the historical precedent suggests that it will also foster the creation of new opportunities. The future economic landscape is poised for transformation, driven by the capabilities of AI and AGI, potentially leading to unprecedented levels of productivity and growth.
The analysis of AGI's potential to boost global GDP reveals some counterintuitive insights. Here are the key points that might challenge conventional thinking.
1. Historical economic stagnation. Before 1700, the global economy experienced almost no growth, averaging just 0.1% annually.
This stagnation contrasts sharply with the projections for AGI, suggesting that a radical shift in productivity and economic growth is not only possible but perhaps imminent. The idea that economic growth could be so stagnant for centuries before suddenly accelerating challenges the notion that steady growth is a natural state. 2. Radical growth estimates. While current global GDP growth hovers around 3%, projections that AGI could catapult this figure to as high as 20% annually seem extreme. This radical increase implies that economic growth can be nonlinear and may be subject to sudden and transformative shifts rather than gradual improvements. Such a leap raises questions about the sustainability of growth rates and the mechanisms that could support such an explosive expansion. 3. Job displacement versus job creation. A common narrative surrounding automation and AI is that they will lead to significant job loss, however. The analysis points out that historical trends suggest new job categories will emerge alongside these technological advancements. This counterintuitive perspective posits that rather than leading to a net loss of jobs, automation might actually create more opportunities in new fields. The example of IT-related job growth illustrates that while some positions may disappear, the overall employment landscape may adapt and flourish. For productivity growth from AI, Goldman Sachs estimates a productivity increase of 1.5 percentage points due to generative AI. This implies that AI could enhance productivity significantly, which is often not fully acknowledged in discussions about technology's impact. The expectation that productivity can increase so dramatically from AI challenges prevailing assumptions about the limitations of human labor and the efficiency of traditional industries. 5. Transformation of labor markets. The assertion that 2/3 of U.S. occupations are exposed to some degree of automation contradicts the belief that job security is a given in many sectors. This challenges the idea that certain professions are immune to technological disruption.
It also highlights the need for workforce adaptability in a rapidly evolving job market, suggesting that the relationship between technology and employment is more complex and fluid than often perceived. 6. Implications for economic structure. The analysis suggests a potential upheaval in markets for goods, services, and labor. This notion of a fundamental restructuring challenges the concept of a stable economic framework, proposing instead that we might be on the brink of a new economic paradigm driven by AGI. Such a transformation could redefine how economies operate, moving away from established norms. 7. Generative AI's far-reaching impacts. The discussion on how generative AI could affect various industries, ranging from healthcare to software, implies a more interconnected and interdependent economic landscape. The idea that AI could streamline operations across diverse sectors challenges the assumption that technological advancements will only benefit tech-centric industries. 8. Potential for new business models. The projections indicate that businesses can leverage generative AI not just for operational efficiency but also for new revenue streams. This suggests that AI might facilitate entirely new business models and approaches to market engagement,
which is often underappreciated in traditional economic analyses.
The expectation that companies will be able to charge premiums for AI-integrated products and services indicates a shift in consumer valuation of technology-enhanced offerings. 9. Skepticism towards AI's promise. Despite the optimistic projections, there remains significant uncertainty about how generative AI will play out in the real world. This skepticism underscores the complexity of predicting technological impacts, suggesting that while the potential is substantial, the realization of these benefits may not be straightforward. These counterintuitive insights challenge conventional wisdom surrounding economic growth, job security, and the impact of technology on society,
urging a re-evaluation of how we understand the relationship between innovation and economic dynamics.
The report on the projected impact of artificial general intelligence (AGI) on global GDP growth presents several crucial insights that many may overlook.
Here are some of the key points and their significance. 1. Historical context of economic growth. The report emphasizes a historical perspective, noting that prior to 1700 global economic growth was nearly stagnant at an average of just 0.1% per year. The significance of this point lies in understanding that economic growth is not a given, it is influenced by technological advancements. The transition from stagnation to periods of rapid growth, such as during the Industrial Revolution, serves as a reminder of how transformative technologies can redefine economic landscapes. Many individuals may overlook this historical context, but it underscores the potential for AGI to catalyze unprecedented economic growth, which could mirror or exceed past revolutions. 2. Disparities in growth projections. The report highlights differing projections regarding AGI's impact on GDP growth. The Economist suggests a potential increase to 20%, while Goldman Sachs estimates a more conservative 7%. This discrepancy is significant as it reflects the uncertainty and varying methodologies used to assess the potential of AGI. Understanding these differences is crucial for policymakers and business leaders, as they must navigate the implications of both optimistic and cautious forecasts in their strategic planning. 3. Job displacement and creation. A critical point often overlooked is the dual nature of AGI's impact on employment. While Goldman Sachs predicts that 300 million jobs may be exposed to automation, it also emphasizes that technological advancements historically lead to the creation of new job categories. This optimistic view of job creation in the face of automation is significant because it challenges the prevailing narrative of job losses due to technology. By acknowledging the potential for new employment opportunities, stakeholders can better prepare for a transition in the labor market rather than succumb to fears of widespread unemployment. 4. The role of generative AI. The analysis points to generative AI as a transformative force within AGI, capable of enhancing productivity significantly by an estimated 1.5 percentage points over a decade. This specific point is often underappreciated, as it highlights not only the economic implications but also the operational efficiencies that businesses can achieve. Generative AI's ability to streamline workflows, automate repetitive tasks, and improve decision-making processes can lead to substantial gains in productivity, which might be under-recognized in broader discussions about AGI. 5. Sector-specific impacts. The report mentions the profound implications of AI for sectors like healthcare, enterprise software, and financial services. Many may overlook how sector-specific transformations will vary, resulting in unique challenges and opportunities. For example, the healthcare industry's ability to leverage AI for patient diagnosis and drug development could lead to significant advancements in public health and medical research. Recognizing these sector-specific impacts can help businesses and policymakers tailor their strategies to maximize benefits and mitigate risks associated with AGI. 6. Long-term employment trends. The historical data presented regarding employment growth, citing that 60% of today's jobs did not exist in 1940, serves as a critical reminder of the long-term adaptability of the labor market. The tendency to focus on immediate job losses due to automation can obscure the broader picture of job evolution. Understanding that much of today's employment landscape is a product of technological innovation can inspire confidence in the workforce's ability to adapt to new realities. 7. Economic inequality. While the report primarily focuses on GDP growth, it does not delve deeply into the potential implications for economic inequality. As AGI could disproportionately benefit those with the means to invest in and implement new technologies, there is a risk that the economic gains may not be evenly distributed. This oversight is significant as it raises important questions about the societal impacts of AGI and the need for policies that address potential inequalities to ensure that the benefits of economic growth are shared broadly. 8. Global economic integration. The analysis implies that AGI could disrupt global markets for goods, services, and labor. However, the global implications of these disruptions are often understated.
For instance, as productivity increases in developed nations, there may be shifts in manufacturing and service sectors that affect emerging economies.
Recognizing the interconnectedness of global economies is crucial for understanding the full impact of AGI and preparing for potential geopolitical shifts. Conclusion: the potential of AGI to increase global GDP growth from 3% to as much as 20% annually carries profound implications for economies worldwide. By examining the historical context, the dual impact on jobs, sector-specific transformations, and the importance of addressing economic inequality, stakeholders can better understand the full scope of AGI's impact. It is essential to look beyond the surface to recognize the nuances and complexities of this transformative technology, ensuring that discussions around AGI are informed, comprehensive, and forward-looking.
1. Projected economic growth impact of AGI. The analysis by The Economist and Goldman Sachs highlights the transformative potential of artificial general intelligence (AGI) in significantly boosting global GDP growth rates. The Economist suggests that AGI could elevate annual growth from 3% to an unprecedented 20%, marking a revolutionary leap similar to historical economic shifts brought about by the Industrial Revolution. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs provides a more conservative estimate, projecting a 7% increase, equating to nearly $7 trillion over the next decade. This divergence in projections underscores the varying perspectives on the economic impact of AGI and its capacity to drive productivity enhancements across multiple sectors. 2. Labor market disruption and job creation. Both analyses address the potential disruption to the labor market caused by AGI and automation. Goldman Sachs estimates that up to 300 million jobs globally could be exposed to automation, with significant portions of job functions being replaced. However, they also emphasize that historical trends indicate technological advancements typically lead to the creation of new job categories, offsetting job losses. This duality presents a critical discussion point regarding the need for workforce adaptation and reskilling in response to AI-driven changes, pushing the narrative beyond mere job displacement to consider the broader implications for employment evolution. 3. Historical context of economic growth. The historical context provided in the analyses serves as a backdrop for understanding the potential impact of AGI. Before the Industrial Revolution, global economic growth was nearly stagnant, averaging just 0.1% per year. The dramatic increase in growth rates following technological advancements illustrates the pattern of economic transformation driven by innovation. This historical perspective supports the argument that we may be on the brink of another significant economic shift, emphasizing the importance of recognizing patterns in technological evolution and their societal impacts. For sectoral transformation and productivity gains, the integration of AGI is expected to have far-reaching implications across various sectors, including enterprise software, healthcare, and financial services. Goldman Sachs notes that the advent of generative AI could streamline business workflows, automate routine tasks, and foster new business applications, leading to enhanced productivity. As businesses adapt to these advancements, the implications for operational efficiency and industry dynamics will be profound. This point invites in-depth discussion on how specific industries will evolve, the nature of new products and services that may emerge, and the overall impact on economic structures and consumer behavior. These 4 points encapsulate the critical themes for analysis and discussion regarding the anticipated economic transformation driven by AGI, highlighting the potential for unprecedented growth, labor market shifts, historical precedents, and sectoral changes. 1. The Industrial Revolution, 18th to 19th century. The Industrial Revolution is a historical period that marked a fundamental change in the economy, transitioning from agrarian societies to industrialized ones. Originating in Britain in the late 1700s, this era was characterized by the introduction of machinery, steam engines, and factory systems, which significantly increased productivity and economic output. Prior to this revolution, global economic growth was stagnant. However, with innovations such as the spinning jenny and the power loom, growth rates began to rise dramatically. By the end of the 19th century, average growth rates had improved to around 1.9%, and the 20th century saw these rates further increase to an average of 2.8%. The Industrial Revolution not only transformed economies but also had profound social implications, including urbanization, changes in labor dynamics, and the emergence of new job categories. 2. The Digital Revolution, late 20th century. The Digital Revolution, also known as the Third Industrial Revolution, began in the late 20th century with the advent of computers and the Internet. This era saw the transition from analog technology to digital technology, fundamentally altering how information is processed and communicated. The proliferation of personal computers, the Internet, and mobile devices led to significant increases in productivity and connectivity across the globe. Economically, this revolution contributed to the growth of new industries such as software development, digital marketing, and e-commerce. The dot-com boom of the late 1990s exemplifies the rapid economic expansion driven by digital technologies, with companies like Amazon and Google emerging as major players. The digital revolution not only boosted global GDP but also reshaped labor markets, leading to the creation of numerous jobs while displacing others. 3. The Green Revolution, mid-20th century. The Green Revolution refers to a period of agricultural transformation that began in the 1940s and continued into the late 1960s. It involved the introduction of high-yielding variety HYV seeds, the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and advancements in irrigation techniques. This agricultural revolution significantly increased food production in developing countries, particularly in Asia and Latin America. The impact on global GDP was substantial, as the increased food supply contributed to economic stability and growth in these regions. The Green Revolution played a crucial role in alleviating hunger and poverty, ultimately leading to improved living standards. However, it also raised concerns about environmental sustainability and the socio-economic divide between those who could afford the new technologies and those who could not. These historical cases illustrate how significant technological advancements can lead to transformative economic growth, much like the anticipated impact of artificial general intelligence (AGI) on global GDP. Each revolution not only altered productivity and economic output but also reshaped societal structures and labor markets, providing valuable insights into the potential future effects of AGI on the global economy. The future outlook on the impact of artificial general intelligence (AGI) on global economic growth is both optimistic and transformative. According to a groundbreaking analysis by The Economist, AGI could elevate global GDP growth rates from the current 3% to as high as 20% annually. This potential leap in economic productivity is comparable to the significant economic shifts witnessed during historical technological revolutions such as the Industrial Revolution. Historically, prior to 1700, global economic growth stagnated at an average of 0.1% per year. The Industrial Revolution marked a turning point, with growth rates eventually reaching an average of 2.8% in the 20th century. Present discussions surrounding AGI suggest we are on the cusp of another momentous advancement in economic productivity. Goldman Sachs supports this optimistic projection, estimating that advancements in generative AI could contribute a 7% increase in global GDP, translating to nearly $7 trillion over the next decade. Their analysis emphasizes the role of improved natural language processing capabilities in driving productivity growth by approximately 1.5 percentage points. However, they also warn of significant job displacement, estimating that around 300 million jobs globally may be at risk due to automation driven by AI. Despite the potential for job losses, Goldman Sachs notes that technological advancement historically leads to the creation of new job categories. For instance, innovations in information technology have given rise to roles like software developers and digital marketers. This historical trend suggests that while automation may eliminate certain tasks, it will also create new opportunities, potentially offsetting job losses. Both The Economist and Goldman Sachs share a belief in the transformative power of AI, but they differ in their projections. The Economist envisions a more radical shift with potential GDP growth reaching 20%, while Goldman Sachs presents a more conservative estimate of 7%. Regardless of the scale of their predictions, both analyses underscore the profound implications for productivity and labor markets. As businesses begin to adopt and integrate AI technologies, the effects on workflows, productivity, and the job market will unfold over the coming years, impacting the economic landscape and societal structure. The anticipated impact of AGI on global GDP growth is significant, with projections highlighting the need for adaptation in the labor market due to automation. In summary, the future economic landscape appears poised for transformation driven by the capabilities of AGI and generative AI. The implications for productivity, job creation, and economic growth are profound, suggesting that we may be on the brink of a new era of technological advancement that could redefine the global economy.